Good morning. This is a video to show you how to make your own graph from your data tables. So again, students tend to get confused. These are data tables. We're going to create a graph from table 4, which is your summary table of all of your results averaged to get final trial averages, sorry. So what you're going to do is you're going to highlight everything from your table 4, like so. It will all be in blue. Then you're going to say Control-C to copy it. Once you've copied the information, you're going to need to open a new spreadsheet. So to do that, all I have to do is right here, you see where my cursor is? Underneath File, if I click on File, I can go File, New, and now I can choose Spreadsheet. Click on the spreadsheet and it will open up a Google spreadsheet. Once it fully is open, make sure you put your cursor in the first cell. That's this box here. Okay, so I'm trying to get my cursor there. My cursor is not moving yet. It's giving me a hard time. So it's not fully ready yet. Hold on. Almost loaded. Of course, it's taking its time when we have a video to make. So now we can see my cursor is in the first box. Once my cursor is in the first box like this, okay, and again, this is called a cell, I can say Control V, and that will paste my whole data table onto the spreadsheet. Once I do that, I'm going to then highlight the whole table again. It'll look a little different here when you highlight it. It'll have an edge around the outside. Okay. Once it has this little blue edge around the outside, that means you know exactly what it's doing. And now you're going to go up along the bar at the top to something called Insert Chart. So if you click on that Insert Chart, if you click on that Insert Chart, it gives you lots of options. So we're going to choose the one that's for a bar graph, which is actually the one that it does all on its own. All right, so here's my bar graph, and I'm going to show you once we click Insert how to fix some things here. Now we have the chart. Now I'm going to move the chart so you can still see the data table next to it. Okay, so a couple of things. One, if you notice, okay, it has a legend on the side, and we have all these different bars representing our different numbers. Now, one thing I noticed when I tried to do this is you see how the first trial doesn't say just the trial, it also says zone of inhibition for each trial. We don't want that on there. We just want trial 1, trial 2, trial 3, and the average. So to do that, what we need to do is go over here where we had our label. And if we double click in there, we can just delete that whole information and press return. And now you'll see it fixes it automatically on the graph. The next thing I want to do is fix the graph title. So if we click on the graph and then double click on the title, you'll see a whole thing comes up for me to fix that. So I'm just going to say type of Pine-Sol's effect on the zone of inhibition. I do not need the millimeters. We can actually probably get rid of the millimeters on all of this stuff very easily. So once I'm done, I press return and click somewhere else if you want, and there we go. There's my title. To fix all these millimeters everywhere, you can either go in and click on it, or I'm going to go over to my table over here. And I'm just going to go and I'm going to highlight my millimeters and get them out. And that will fix it on my table, on my graph. So by going over here, I'm fixing all the millimeters. And now on this one. So we're slowly cleaning this up. And then press return. Every time you press return, it fixes it over here. So now we have no millimeters over here. We have no millimeters in the title. We are missing, however, our label over here. And so, since there is no title over there, we need to fix that. But before we fix that, let's fix one last thing. So I actually like to see for each of these the actual number so I can double check that it read my data correctly. So if you click on it, it gives you all these options. First, you can change the color of each individual one if you'd like. And then this final one says data label. Right now it's on none. If I click on it, I can choose value. And now you can see that everything that was on the blue is now has the value. So I'm going to do it again. Double click on the red. Go to the last one that looks like kind of like bars. Click value again. Click on the third. Double click again. Value. And the fourth value. So now all my values are there. So finally, to get a label on this side, I think the easiest way to do that is going to be to go over here. And we're going to click on this little tab in the corner. We're going to go to Advanced Edit. And once we go to Advanced Edit, we're going to scroll down on this bar. We see where it says horizontal right here. You see how it says type of pine sol? That's correct. That's what I wanted it to say, so I don't need to change that. But over here, I need to go to the left vertical. And I'm going to type in zone of inhibition. And now I'm going to put in parentheses the millimeters. Okay? And I'm going to press return, and that automatically puts it on there for me. Okay? So there's lots of different things you can fix. You can have your title look differently. Please remember that I like everything to have a capital letter at the beginning of each sentence. Sorry, at the beginning of each word to make it look nice and neat. I can then click Update, and now it's updated. And if I click on that little thing one more time in the upper right corner, I can click Save Image. Okay, so now it's an image that you can insert. That's one way you can do it. Or the other way that you can do it is to go back to where you want it to put it. So back to your paper and click where you want your cursor to be. And I believe we should be able to say Insert Chart this time. Insert Chart from Sheets. And now this new one that I just made will be there. I'm going to select it. And there it is. The cool thing about doing it this way is if you need to change anything later, you can. And that's kind of important. Now, I don't know why it's not letting me import. Interesting. Well, that is the way to make sure that it changes it everywhere for you. So I don't know why it's not letting me import. But that was the way I was going to show you. Otherwise, you can just say Insert Image, and you just made the image. So now you just have to go and choose the image to upload. Here's my image. Open it. And there we go. And you're going to want this both on your paper, and there is a slide on your presentation that this graph also goes on. But make sure it's all correct and looks really nice and neat before you do that, so you don't have to do it more than once.